I'm Bill,
I'm Mary.
and we're going to go climbing today at Rumbling Bald State Park in Chimney Rock, North Carolina. I've been climbing now for over 30 years. I'm 63 and I started in my mid-20s, so I'm afraid to do the math.
And I'm a relatively new climber. I'm 69 and I've been climbing for about 7 years now.
I was a school teacher and retired in upstate New York from Middleburg Middle School. I taught Spanish for 30 years.
And I'm retired. I'm a registered nurse and I worked in a hospital in upstate New York.
Today we're going to go bouldering, simply climbing up a big boulder to the top and then finding a safe way down. We do climb on ropes occasionally, but mostly we prefer bouldering. I started climbing, I did an outward bound course in, near Asheville when I was in high school and fell in love with it. And when I finished college and had the time and the money to start, I began climbing and have started rope climbing, and about 15 years ago I started bouldering.
And after we retired, we took off on a journey where I decided that I would start my climbing. So Bill's been a great climbing coach and partner for me, and I've really enjoyed it.
Bouldering has been a really good sport for both of us because you can really adjust the difficulty level, and you're often climbing with other folks who are supportive and helping, and so it's really been a great sport for us to meet people and to be outside in nature, challenging ourselves. So when we go bouldering, the equipment is pretty simple. We have a bouldering pad, which is just foam that we place under the climb, and if we fall, that's what we land on. And we have a pair of climbing shoes and then chalk, sometimes a brush too, to brush off holds and keep them clean. Typically you're climbing with other folks who are going to be supporting you with more pads, spotting you so that you don't fall off the pads. Injuries do happen, accidents happen. I've hurt my ankles, gotten lots of cuts and bruises, but nothing ever too serious that I haven't been able to recover from. When we boulder, we don't use a helmet because typically we know if there's going to be any loose rock or things falling, and that's folks who are climbing on ropes want a helmet for falling objects. And in bouldering, typically you wouldn't expect that to happen. Okay. So when we're going to go out climbing for a day in Rumbling Bald, we'll check out the guidebook and then we can see what climbs we might want to try. There's a map, and then there are lines that go up the boulder which tell the difficulty of the climb. So we know what level we can climb at, and we'll typically look for something that's within our level. I like to really push myself. In bouldering, it's really normal to find a climb that's very challenging, and it may take days to finally be able to do the climb without falls. And then once we've done the climb from top to bottom without a fall, we say that we've done the climb. It's not uncommon for plenty of folks to wander through the woods and find rocks that have never been climbed before. They'll clean them up, and if they do a climb on that sort of rock, then it's called a first descent, and they get to name it, and they often put a video of themselves doing the climb on Instagram or YouTube so other folks know that they could go out and do the same climb. So today we're out here, just a small group, my wife and I, and we're going to be climbing with each other, supporting each other, spotting. It's pretty common for me to come out alone with bouldering. I can usually find a rock that I feel safe climbing alone. It's not uncommon though to be out with 5 or 10 other people, and then you're going to be a little bit bolder, a little bit more courageous because you have support with you. It's a sport that's typically done by yourself or with a group out in the woods because being out in nature and problem solving is a good part of it. It also has become very popular to boulder in climbing gyms and also in competitions. It's even an Olympic sport. It's been in the last 2 Olympics. They do have competitions in areas like this. It's more done as a fundraiser just to help promote the sport and help with access. In bouldering, it's pretty normal that folks will have a project, and a project means that it's going to be a climb that's really difficult for them and they're not going to do it first try. If you do a climb on your first try, it's called a flash, and lots of folks really love the challenge of finding a climb that they need to work on. And so there have been climbs that I've worked on for months, trying it once or twice a week before I was finally successful. And it's a great feeling when you do finally get to the top after having put so much work and effort into it. If you want to get started bouldering, a good place to start is to meet somebody who boulders so that they can give you the best idea about how to be safe. Usually if you go to a climbing gym, you'll be able to meet folks and get advice on how to get started. You need a pair of climbing shoes, maybe some chalk. If you're going to go outdoors, you're going to want to get a bouldering pad. It's a sport that any age can do. My wife started when she was in her early 60s. I started when I was in my mid-20s. There are plenty of kids now who are starting when they're 4 or 5. So it's a sport for everybody. You can always find something that will challenge you. You don't need to be scared about people being pushy or being odd if you show up and you're a newbie. Folks are real helpful and supportive. And that's how my wife got started. She was just having people say to her, give it a try, give it a try. And when she finally did, she really found out how much she enjoyed it. We're here at Rumbling Ball today, and a good part of why we're here is because the Carolina Climbing Coalition has helped with access, trail building, parking lots, and the Carolina Climbing Coalition works hard to get access to rocks all over North Carolina and South Carolina. And without those sorts of organizations like Access Fund, Carolina Climbing Coalition, probably a lot of these places wouldn't even be available to climb. So one of the things that we really love about climbing is the community. When you meet people out climbing, you have an instant affinity with them because you're doing the same sport. And folks that we've met 10 years ago and more, we're still in touch with. We still meet them as we travel across the country to climbing areas in California, in Tennessee, Georgia, New York, New Hampshire. We'll meet the same people and just start in climbing with them, and we've become friends just with folks in the climbing community. I'm Bill.
I'm Mary.
Let's go climbing.
Let's go.